Hey everybody, this is Nate. You're watching WASD20, and this is my third GM journal that I'm bringing you today, talking about my home group that's playing Pathfinder. This is the group that I started back in the summertime, back in June or something, and we played through once the Pathfinder beginner box. Played through that adventure, and now we have transitioned into playing the Rise of the Runelords Adventure Path. So, we got together once in June, and once again in August, and in August we played the first session of Rise of the Runelords, the Swallowtail Festival, and now we finally just got together like 2 weeks ago for our second session. It's called Local Heroes, and it was good, but man, it took a while to get together. So, who it is, first of all. It's my wife, another couple, friend of ours, who they've been friends of ours for years, and then friends of theirs, another couple who's friends of theirs, who I think are becoming friends of ours too. They're cool. We were hoping to get together in September. We had one date that kind of fell through last minute, and another one that fell through as well. And then October, we had a baby, and then November, we were still kind of busy with baby stuff. And towards the end of November, I started asking, okay, should we get together again? I think we're ready. What do you think? And we set a date for December. That fell through. Set a date for mid-January, early January. That fell through. We had a snowstorm. And then finally we got together in late January. A lot of the reasons were very legitimate reasons. It was never us canceling, by the way. It was always them. And a lot of them were legitimate reasons that's like, yeah, I can understand that. But at the same time, if those things happened to me, I would have made it work because it's a huge priority to me. And I'm pretty into it. Maybe I'm a little too into it. But anyway, I would have made it work. And they didn't, and that's fine. They're all totally brand new to tabletop role-playing games. This is the first time they've played. Add to that, we've had scheduling problems just getting together with them in general in the past. And, you know, it's understandable. I don't see that changing anytime soon. We, you know, two of us couples have very young kids. So that's another thing. And we're just busy people, right? We can make it work, and we make it a priority, at least I do, for us. I can't speak for my wife too much, but for them it's just not that way, and that's fine. That's just the way it is. That's them. So we got together at my friend's place, and we brought all three of our kids, and that's obviously going to cause some distraction and be a little bit challenging, but it worked. We played, and we had dinner first. Dinner took a lot longer than expected as well, and afterwards they wanted to do dishes, and it's just, you know, it was probably an hour and a half before we actually got into playing the game, and then we had about 2.5 hours left. Yeah, about that. And that's 2.5 hours with some interruptions. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm glad we got together at all. That's what I'll say. Glad we got together at all. So, in terms of the game session itself, they are exploring the town of Sandpoint, taking some kind of side questy things, and you know, a little bit of combat here and there, and getting into the world a little bit, and that's good. There were some good RP moments. My friend who's playing Valeros, the Iconic, he especially is good at kind of getting into character and thinking like his character and acting like his character. If not, you know, really speaking like his character, at least he's acting like it and thinking, what would Valeros do? So that's cool to see. It's really cool to see. And he's kind of the example setter in terms of role-playing, which is cool. And then there were a couple times when they kind of veered off the path. You know, it's an adventure path, so it's pre-written. But I think there really is a lot of freedom. I think a lot of people who don't like the idea of an adventure path haven't tried it. And I know some people have, and it's definitely not for everybody. But I think that a lot of people say, you know, it's too railroady, and I think it can be, but you can also run it with quite a bit of player agency and freedom and veer off the path, so to speak, quite a bit. So I think that I allowed my players to do that a little bit here and there. So they did that on 2 separate occasions, one of which was Valeros pursuing a woman, and that did not end well. And then he tried to amend things and made them worse, and it's not going well. But at least he's RPing and, you know, making this royal disaster, and it's pretty fun to watch. So I think we all enjoyed that quite a bit. And then there is also a, slight spoilers here for those who are sensitive to Rise of the Runelords spoilers. And that is the character of Longiku Kaijitsu. First session, my players became pretty obsessed with the guy, and second session, they kept on going with that and trying to figure out, what is this guy up to? We know something's wrong here, something's suspicious, and they're really trying to dig up dirt on him. And they actually went over to his estate to look for him and found him. They kind of eavesdropped and found him packing up and trying to leave Sandpoint. Yeah, I kind of, railroaded them back a little bit, just a little bit, and told them, you hear him talking, he's packing up, he's leaving. I don't know if there's that much more for you to do here. So they kind of said, oh, okay, he'll show up again, and he will. So they went back to town. So yeah, kind of trying to feel out, how much do I railroad them? How much do I just say, you treat it like a sandbox, and it's not going to work out so well in this. So yeah, it is different, but I'm enjoying it. So the game session went well. Our cleric is getting pretty frustrated. One of our clerics, we have 5 players, and she can't hit at anything. And one of the things I'm thinking about is switching over to D&D, because I feel like the combat is just more fluid. I feel like there's a lot of misses on both sides in combat in Pathfinder. It's like, oh, the skeleton swings, he misses. You swing at the skeleton, misses, and miss, miss, miss. And I think it's because the armor classes are so high for some of these creatures, but the attack bonuses are not that high. Not right now, at least. Especially for the casters. And the casters don't have, at low levels, lots of offensive spells that they can cast over and over again that will do any significant amount of damage. So that's a challenge. And that's one of the reasons I'm thinking, man, I really like 5th edition. I really like that casters are more effective at low levels. So I'm thinking about actually just kind of taking their character sheets and saying, oh, let me just transition to this to 5th edition for you. Here you go. And I honestly don't think they would know the difference. I don't think they would. They're very new to it, and a lot of times I'm just telling them, you roll the d20 for that. Okay, is that your sword? Roll the d8, right? Or whatever it is. And I don't think it would really make that much of a difference. There's less skills. The concept of advantage and disadvantage is pretty fluid and nice instead of adding bonuses. And there's all sorts of other things that I think it would just make it run a little smoother. But hey, Pathfinder's alright too. I still like it. So that's something I'm considering. The other thing that I'm considering is whether or not it's even worth it to continue playing a tabletop role-playing game with this group of friends. One of the reasons being that, the schedule thing. It's been hard to get together. And especially, is an adventure path good for this kind of group? Or should I do more of a, hey, let's do an occasional one-shot sort of thing? That's a possibility, I guess. But, my wife is not real into it, and, she tolerates it for me. Thanks, honey, I love you. And, I think one of the other players is not really all that into it either. And they kind of hinted like, hey, we have this board game, or we have this card game, and they do have some pretty cool games that we could try, like Munchkin was one that was brought up. My friend's got an Arabian Nights board game that I've heard good things about. So what I'm thinking about doing with that is saying, hey everyone, next session, do you want to play Rise of the Runelords again, or do we want to take a break and try a board game night, a little more casual? And I'm pretty sure they'll take me up on that offer. And they've already kind of mentioned that possibility. And then the next time we can get back to the RPG thing. And yeah, I would be fine with that. I've thought about just saying, hey, do we want to play a role-playing game at all? Or would you rather just do board games or something a little more casual every time we get together? But I have a feeling that some of them would go for that, and it might just cause some weird tension. And to be honest, I just don't want that. It's kind of selfish of me, but I just don't want that. I want to keep doing the RPG thing. I like GMing, I really do. And I like the collaborative storytelling, and I think that if we give it a little bit longer, it'll get its hooks into them, and they'll end up liking it. So, yeah, I don't know how selfish to be, but at this time I'm committed to keep on trying. I just have to make sure I'm not putting too much into it, and I got to hold back a little bit because I don't want to get disappointed. That's where I'm at with things. Just continuing on this journey of learning to GM. Learning a lot. But if you have any comments for me, any feedback, a lot of you more experienced gamers out there always have some great feedback for me. I really appreciate it. Just leave that in the comments below. And yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, everybody take care. I'll see you next time.